Boys and girls, it's Mrs. Meek here for lesson 28, and today we're going to do a story called Tops and Bottoms. We read it in the classroom, so I have the book here, and when you do your homework today, you're actually going to get to listen to the story again, and then we're going to do some activities actually using real vegetables that we would get from a garden, but I just got these from the store for tonight. So here on your paper that you're going to have today, I do have the QR code that you're going to try to scan, and if that should not happen to work on your computer, I'm going to email the link so that you can get it on the link too. So after you've listened to that story again, you are going to go through, and I actually have these plants sorted by ones that would grow on top of the soil, and then I have the ones sorted that would grow on bottom. I know in the story they say that the corn grows in the middle. So for tonight, we're just going to say it grows in the middle, but that's still on the top. So what you are going to do is I'm going to tell you and identify what these vegetables are. And then you are going to use the best stretchy snake that you can, and you're going to stretch them out by their beginning, middle, and ending sounds. So on your paper, I'm going to start with the things that grow on top of the soil. So these are actually the part of the vegetable that we eat, or things, the leafy part that grows on the top. So this first one is lettuce. So I want you to try to stretch lettuce, and you're going to write that on number 1. And then the second one is cabbage, is on number 2. This is a purple cabbage. So that's why it has this little purple tint to it. It tastes really good. So 2 is cabbage. And number 3, this is a tricky one. It's cauliflower. So cauliflower, because it does kind of look like a flower. On number 3, stretch that one out. And then you can actually see, too, part of the leaves that are still here around it and where it's actually attached. And all of this grows actually just like this on top of the soil. And then the fourth one that we have is broccoli. And I bought this broccoli like this, but normally it does have a bunch of leaves and stems that are cut off for this. So you're going to stretch out broccoli on number 4. So all of these things grow on top of the soil. And then now we're going to go over to the things that would grow below. Now, because I just got my bag of potatoes, it doesn't have any leafy stems or anything coming from it, but these are actually the root of the plant. And there are actually stems that come all up, and then there are connectors that have all of the potatoes down below underneath the soil. So on number 1, your bottom is going to be potato. And then that's all nice and cleaned off for us. But on the carrots, you can actually see, you can actually buy them like this too, where you can see that this is the greenery part of the plant, and then what we're eating is actually the root. So this all goes down below, and then this would be above. So these are carrots on number 2, and then the ones from the grocery that you get sometimes have all of that cut off and they're cleaned up. And number 3, these are radishes. And you can see that this is the root part that actually goes down into the soil and pulls all the moisture up. So number 3 is radishes. And number 4 are onions. And the roots that would grow down below here were actually trimmed so that they could get them nice and neat for the grocery store. They trim these tops a little bit too, but that's exactly what they look like. And then number 4 is corn. Corn grows on large stalks above the soil, and we actually pull this off from the middle, but because it grows above, we're just going to stick with it's above. So on bottom, we have corn, onion, radishes, carrots, and potatoes. Those all grow on the bottom. And then on the top, we had lettuce. The second one is purple cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. All go on the top. And that is your writing activity for you today that goes with our story. Now for the next part of this, I'm going to actually, because we've been talking about measuring and weighing and things like that in our next chapter that we're getting ready for. The first part that I'm going to ask you to do is in looking at these vegetables, when you are measuring something by length and how tall it is, you can do it sometimes just by looking at it. You don't even actually have to measure it. So if you're just looking at these vegetables, I'm going to have you on your paper write down which one is the tallest. So just looking at them, which one is the tallest? You're going to write that on number 1. And now again, we're just going to eyeball it. Of these vegetables that we have here, which one is the shortest of them? And you're going to write that on number 2. And then the next part, I'm going to actually get out a scale. And remember, on my scale, I have this in the middle. Something that weighs more is going to pull down. And then the item that would weigh less would go up, because things that are more dense will pull this down. So I'm actually going to put this out here so that you can see it really well. And then I am going to pick a couple of these. I'm going to pick the radishes because these are both in a bunch. And to weigh something, I cannot eyeball it. I have to like do something. I can maybe say, oh, I guess. But to be very specific, I'm going to actually put these on the weigher. So here's my bunch of radishes. And here is my bunch of broccoli. And just by looking at that, which one pulled down is the one that weighs more? So on number 3, which one weighs the most? Radishes or broccoli? And write down which one weighs more. Okay, and then I'm going to take these away. And then I'm going to say which one weighs less. And I've got these two that are about similar in height. Okay. Corn's a little bit longer. They're both kind of heavy. So on this one, I'm going to put them down and I'm going to see which one weighs less. And you can see that the onions are up, the corn is down. So on number 4, you're going to write of these two, the corn and the onions, which one weighs less? And today, that's it. The last part of it on here is we have a little part of the song that there's also a song that goes to tops and bottoms that you can look at and have your parents share with you. So I hope you had fun doing activities with tops and bottoms and plants that grow on the top and below the soil. See you next time, boys and girls.